What's up, guys? Welcome back to Track Built. We are out here at, I think, Burt Brothers what is this place called? We are at Utah Motorsports campus. I don't really know what to call it, but this track is absolutely insane. We're out here with NASA doing a time trial event. I say that we're doing a time trial event, but I gotta be honest with you, there's only one real person I'm running a time trial against. That is Justin Miguel with his 2020 BMW Z4. Now, I think anybody who hasn't watched this previous video on this Z4, if you haven't, it's linked down below, go check it out. This thing is an absolute track monster. Some B-roll going over right now, should be going over the screen. That is my car. I have not made a video on that car. I don't know that mine has earned the title of Track Built. This has got a couple modifications, but it is a very capable car from factory. So anyway, welcome to Track Built.
Now today's challenge is gonna be simple. 2 drivers, 2 completely different builds, fastest lap wins. The 2021 Shelby GT500 bringing its factory engineered track capability versus a purpose-built BMW Z4 M40i. The BMW is lighter, sharper, and built to carry speed through every corner. Same track, same day, same conditions. No rule sets, no handicaps, fastest lap wins. Now before we hit the track, let's break down what each car is bringing into this battle. The 2021 Shelby GT500 has a 5.2-liter supercharged V8 putting out 683 wheel horsepower backed by a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Now this specific GT500 is equipped with the carbon fiber track pack, bringing its total curb weight to 4,000 pounds. The BMW has a 3-liter turbocharged inline-6 upgraded with a pure 850 turbo and a pure Stage 2 HPK transmission upgrade. It's putting out about 650 wheel horsepower with a curb weight of about 3,400 pounds. Now for suspension, the BMW is on MCS one-way coilovers with no reservoirs, and for stopping power it is upgraded with the G80 M3 front and rear brake setup using EBC 2-piece front rotors. For pads you have G-Lock R18 front pads with Paragon R5 rears. Now to get around the track, this car is going to be on Apex VS5 RS 19-inch wheels wrapped in Bridgestone Potenza RE71 RS 200 treadwear tires. Now the GT500 from factory is on a sprung suspension with Ford Performance Magnorite dampers. This one specifically is upgraded with Steeda dual rate springs, coupled with the DSC Sport Magnorite controller that's calibrated to work with the spring rates of those Steeda dual rate springs. For stopping power, we are on the stock brake setup with Brembo 6-piston front calipers and 4-piston rears. With that said, this car has immense stopping power from factory with a 16.5-inch front rotor. For pads, we are running the very aggressive Hawk DTC70 front pads with the DTC60s in the rear. And to get around the track, this car is on Apex VS5 RS 20-inch wheels wrapped in Goodyear F1 Supercar 3R 100 treadwear tires. Now, this shootout is going to be taking place in Utah Motorsports campus's outer loop configuration, a mix of high and low speed corners, double apexes, a set of chicanes, hairpin turns, and a main straight that's over 3,500 feet long. To put that into perspective, the main straight is the equivalent to 11 football fields stacked end to end, which is absolutely crazy. But with that said, let's get these things on track. After some track recon and more than a few push laps, these cars are finally starting to paint a picture. The GT500, while holding a very good average speed through all the high-speed sectors, is also gripping and absolutely launching out of the slow corners. Meanwhile, the Z4 in the slow sections is having to wait for its single turbo to spool up, and when it finally does, it has to also fight for traction as its rear end is all over the place. Now, where the Z4 is making up for that deficit is when it does find traction, it is an absolute rocket ship in a straight line. This is not something I thought I was ever going to say, but the GT500 has a significant straight line speed disadvantage compared to the Z4. In the straight line, the GT500 is only able to manage at 156 top speed before it goes into the braking zone. Meanwhile, the Z4 is hitting 164 miles per hour before he finally mashes on the brakes. That is an 8-mile-per-hour delta in a straight line. Now, not only is the Z4 faster on the main straight, but it's actually faster in any straight section of the track. And when we actually look at this, it boils down to a couple of reasons. Number one, aero. The Z4 has little to no aero and is able to just slice through the air all the way down the main straight. Meanwhile, the GT500 has the carbon fiber track pack, which adds front splitter wickers and a GT4 style rear wing, which also has risers lifting it up even higher, which is giving it more downforce. All of this is creating a significant amount of drag that's holding the car back all the way down that main straight. Also, the GT500 is about 600 pounds heavier than the Z4. Putting those things together and that speed delta kind of starts to make sense. But still, seeing a Z4 dominate a GT500 like that in a straight line is not something I thought I'd ever see. So the question is, will the GT500 be able to pull out the lap time with superior grip around the corners, or is the Z4's superior high speed going to take the win? There's only one way to find out. Let's get these cars back on track for the final lap times. So after a fun day battling at the racetrack, the GT500 is able to get the win, putting down a 2:03.94, while the Z4 put down a 2:04.58. Now that is a really close result, especially when you look at the fact that the GT500 showed up on 100 treadwear tires. It had superior grip launching out of the slow speed corners, and it had aero during the high speed corners. And after all of the analysis, it points to one sobering fact. If that Z4 had shown up on 100 treadwear tires, it would have absolutely dismantled the GT500. This would be a very different outcome. Either way, this was a really fun shootout. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.